Hey world, it's Tobo. It is August the 20th of 2015. I almost said 14, but I didn't. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the party.
I'm still writing that on my checks. It's a common problem.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna keep saying 2014 by accident until it's 2016, at which point I will start saying 2015 by accident.
In my case, a year is almost exactly how long it takes for me to remember what year it is, so just when I'm getting used to it, it changes again.
Yeah. You're always fine for the first month or so because there's that sort of excitement about being in the new year. But then you're like, wait a second, was it?
Yeah, and then you just forget. You go into it's muscle memory, really, after all that time.
Indeed.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So, exciting stuff. It's still 1985. Yes, absolutely, Spirits. It's still
I am. I'm a 1-year-old with a beard. Yeah, this is very impressive now, isn't it?
Yeah. All right. So.
You're like -3 or something, which is really impressive.
Not quite that old.
No? Okay.
Nope, not there yet. I was born in 94.
Okay.
So.
-9.
-9!
-9.
Oh, man. Alright, so. Hey, Varas is in the chat as well. Good to see you, my friend. This is already shaping up to quite a few people pretty early on. So, exciting stuff in the world of Spy Party. The Spy Party Summer Cup is quickly winding up, I guess, to the finale, which is exciting.
It's like winding down, except it's exciting as it ends.
Yes!
Rather than less exciting.
Exactly.
Winding up. Yes.
Winding up. So, there's 2 games that are going to be played soon, like tomorrow. One of them is going to happen at 5 p.m. Eastern. That's Crazy Kaylee versus Varanas. I'm going to be casting that one live. The other one is KCM versus Feral, which will be happening at 10 o'clock Eastern, which I will hopefully also be casting live. So
very cool, very cool. I will be away for the first one, but I will probably be home by the second. And
okay.
Yes, very exciting.
So yeah, that's gonna be awesome. So yeah, today we're gonna be casting a couple of. Also, PAX is coming up like real soon.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna be 1 week from today. I'm going to have just landed in Seattle and probably be checking into a hotel. I'm very excited. I will be taking lots of pictures and posting blog entries on Spy Party fans throughout the trip because I can't help myself. I am super excited. Should be a lot of fun. Which
reminds me, Warning Track will not be here for the show next week because PAX.
Yep.
He's gonna be carrying the Spy Party banner. I'll still be here holding down the fort for the regular show, though, so don't worry.
Yeah, it's only 1 week. I'll be right back, and I'm sure, I'll miss it and want to get right back into the swing of things. So.
Indeed. All right, cool. So today we're going to be casting 2 sets. We're going to be starting with Magician versus Turnout. And after that, we're going to be doing Canadian Bacon versus Sharper. So, should be a fun night ahead of us.
Yeah, and Sharper, by the way, also coming to PAX all the way from Australia. I think it's the farthest anyone has come.
That's awesome.
I was feeling really special. I'm 2,500 miles away in Pittsburgh, and I thought, oh, I'm probably going to be the farthest this year. And then Sharper says he's going to come, and I'm like, oh, completely upstate. Completely. Never did like that guy.
Oh, man.
But yeah, that's dedication there. If you want to know anything about how dedicated this community is, I'm coming from Pittsburgh, and I'm not even close to the farthest.
Yeah. Alright. Spirit says he's still sad he can't PAX because he wants to meet us.
Hey, so most of you guys, most of you people are in California, man. Come on, you can make it happen. You guys can practically walk to PAX.
I'm up in Canada.
Yes. You are, yes. You have a better excuse than most. Although it doesn't stop Canadian bacon.
That's true. That's true. So yeah, for those of you who don't know how this works, the group stages for the Summer Cup are a little bit rough. They're it's hard because you only get to play 8 games of Spy Party, 4 sets. 2 on Ballroom, any Fort of 7. 2 on Classic Balcony. 2 on High Rise, a 3 of 5. And 2 on Pub, a 3-5.
Yeah, 8 is probably the minimum you can play to get any sort of decent read. Even that's a little low because an inferior player can easily swing a match of that set if they catch someone on the wrong day. But on the other hand, this game is so stressful and the matches can go on so long if you want a decent sampling that I think they decided that brevity was the soul of competition this time. So 8 games it is.
I think it's actually a good idea. I like the 8-game format. It can be a little bit rough for the players sometimes, but at the same time, it can be a little bit of a relief for the players.
Right.
So,
yeah. I mean, look, there's a trade-off either way.
Yeah.
And after some of the previous kind of longer tournaments that dragged on a little while even, I think this is a good way to go for now.
Indeed. So, without any further ado, let's get this underway. Starting things out with Turnout 8. On the Spy, on Ballroom, a 4 of 7, with Magician on the Sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Ballroom.
Ballroom, my old friend. Now he's taken Inspects off with his interesting, and immediately steps away with the green book.
This is how Turnout plays. This is vintage Turnout. He plays aggressively. He likes hardtails.
Yeah. I actually think this is absolutely fantastic at the start of a set like this because you usually take a little bit of a breath at the beginning of a set to settle in and start playing your game. This is right in there with no breaks. Pretty decent walking bug on the way through. It's at a bad angle, but caught Magician looking the other way. Time ad into transfer, but Magician was on top of things and manages to take the first game there.
Yeah, one of the reasons that you can make a really good argument for being that aggressive earlier is not just partially for the reason you mentioned about people sort of settling in, but also because if you get shot, you have information. You're testing them immediately, and you're going to force them to sort of pay attention early and see, if you get away with it, you get away with it, but keep doing it until they beat you. In this case, he beat him the first time out. What I find particularly interesting about that, though, was that he might have gotten away with both the bug and the time ad. He got a little greedy. The microfilm is what got him shot. And at that point, when the bug goes off without a hitch and you've just done your time ad, I think maybe at that point you rethink the microfilm because you're already ahead.
Maybe.
Might be pushing your luck a little bit.
It's hard to say, though, because when you get away from the green case that early on, in the first game, it's very easy to assume you're out clean. So
yeah, absolutely. So it's one of those things, maybe with hindsight, a little more obvious. But now he has some information about what Magician's capable of, and hopefully
casting mode isn't on. What do you mean casting mode isn't on? It's not giving me the results. Casting mode is totally on. Silly Varanas. Oh, but that's true. It's showing the full range of... I had to toggle casting mode to get it back normal again. Isn't that weird? I want to try something now. If I quit out of a replay, and then I go into a replay, it gives me the whole thing, and I have to toggle casting mode to bring that... I think that is a bug report. Thank you very much, Varanas.
Yes. Yeah, there are a slew of mid-range bugs sort of since the last update, which was a pretty, I don't want to say unstable exactly, but it was an unsettling update. A lot of stuff changed. A lot of things are being tweaked still. So
it was a pretty massive update. We got Spectation. So
yeah, and it was pretty clear he had to rewrite some significant parts of the game to work with it. So while it doesn't seem like there's any more major game-breaking bugs, or not many at least, there are a lot of mid-level ones like this. So really glad we caught that.
Yeah, thank you very much, Varanas. I'll be putting up a bug report after the show. Yeah. Water likes the aggro bugs better. Alright, so let's get into the next game here. This time Magician on the Spiral. Turnout 8 on the Sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Magician, a less aggressive spy than Turnout, I was going to say, but then I realized almost everybody is, so that's not much of a statement, is it?
That's true. Inspect is still on for Magician. Swap is the one that's been turned off.
Now, it goes to a side statue on his first visit. Interesting to make that choice right away.
Indeed.
One of the reasons to do Inspect a little later in the game is that if you wait for a minute or so, not only do you not necessarily get an early highlight if the sniper's the kind of person who highlights for statues, but at that point you have a better sense of whether or not you're going to have time for 2 visits.
And Turnout apparently not highlighting for statues.
Interesting. From my memory, he usually does. Maybe not in this case.
Interesting stuff. But yeah, he's definitely not, because Blue Dress has been there for a while and hasn't taken a highlight for it.
But that side statue visit initially is really interesting because it commits him to a second visit later, and he doesn't yet know if he's going to have extra time.
Yeah.
Let's see if he can get this flirt off. Yep.
Indeed, the flirt comes off clean, and he gets the fingerprint. That's a heck of a bookcase visit for Magician there.
He puts it back. What I love to do in those situations is to take the book with me, go over, flirt again, and then you have an excuse to leave. The book sort of breaks up the flirts. It's something to do in between.
Yeah.
To sort of, you know, make a little flirt sandwich, and it's a lot easier because it looks much less conspicuous that way. Also, if they see you put the book back, there's a chance you're getting a low light.
Flirt sandwich. That is awesome.
Or terrible. Maybe a little bit of both.
Man.
But it's really nice. And if you hang on, and maybe you see an opening and you decide to dump the book at the other shelf instead, but it just gives you so many options, and it's just a good way to look inconspicuous in a way that actually gives you opportunities to do things.
I completely agree. Magician here stepping back into the statues again to finish up his inspection.
And he's keeping a pretty good pace. He's doing what we talk about, where he gets a good chunk of several different missions done.
Indeed.
And then you can have no missions done with a minute and a half, but because you're so close, you can finish 2 or 3 in a flurry.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, just one cycle of the statue there.
Yeah, not great. I feel like in a vacuum, you pretty much always want to do at least 2.
And the end of red.
Well, you pretty much want to do exactly 2, because if any more than 2, you're going to get shot.
Right, right. Well, I mean, right, of course.
Might be able to get a bug in here.
If you need to do 3 to get the inspect done, you can usually get away with it, but
Indeed.
I don't think there's any... I really feel like unless the time is really crunched, you definitely don't have to play.
You know, I bet part of the highlight he got there was because of the possible bug that he didn't wind up being able to get off.
Yeah, and I really thought when I saw the BB go off that he was going to use it to cover the bug. It's a standard move, works really well. Didn't, but got a highlight for it anyway, maybe.
Indeed. Able to finish up the flirt, though, and is a fingerprint away from finishing up the game if there's a spot open for it, and I haven't been paying enough attention to tell you whether or not there is.
I'm not sure, but that briefcase is down, so once the Amba leaves here, if he does, I don't know if he's going to
time is the big issue here, though. Only 20 seconds left to play. Here he goes. I think he's going to make a play for the briefcase.
Just in time. Just in time. And
oh, no! Snaps McGee!
Wow. Oh, boy. What is he going to do now?
It looked like he timed that so well.
The bug. Oh, no. Oh, no. And the last 6 seconds are just painful.
No.
Oh, that's rough.
Oh,
he timed
that
it
is
very
brutal.
well. I gotta say, one thing he could have done a little different, again, retrospect, hindsight, all that, is stand a little closer to the Amba while you're waiting for it to happen. If you go hang out at a different conversation circle, at least that way you can pretty much guarantee that if you leave as soon as they do, you'll get it first.
Indeed.
But he stayed all the way across the map, and normally that's fine, but it does introduce that extra little 5 or 10% risk that is going to happen. So
yeah.
I think he would have gotten away with the 4 highlights at the end, and it was just going to be a fingerprint. I think he would have won.
Yeah. And the panic, I assume, panic purloin and accidentally bugged.
Yeah, and I understand that. Kind of a last-second purloin is what I would do in that situation. I don't think I would have bugged, and he did see the bug, so maybe he would have gotten away with the purloin, maybe not. Probably not against a good sniper, but the panic purloin is sort of the move that's available to you at that point. Yeah.
Indeed. So, Magician getting a tough break at the end of that game, goes 1-1 into Balcony. Turnout 8 starting things off on the spy side. Magician on the sniper at 2 times speed.
Okay, just checking. Just wanted to make sure.
In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
You could probably say 3, 2, 1 at 2 times speed, too. 3, 2,
that might make it even more difficult. All right, got highlight early for absolutely nothing. Good stuff. That's Balcony for you.
That's Balcony. Yeah, this is why we fast forward to it, because it's like rolling dice with character models.
Yes. Oh, there's the neutral light. 74% on the flirt, so looking good there. He's highlight once more. No BB yet, which is interesting.
Yeah, up, down, and then back up again. It's like a roller coaster.
We're up to 4 highlights now, so back down to 3. So in a decent position there. There's the BB coming off on the green test, so this is looking pretty good for Turnout if you can find this last flirt in the next 40 seconds. There's the flirt. Does the shot comes off? It doesn't look like it does. And Turnout, able to pick up the mission wins there.
Yeah, just solid. Turnout, surprisingly good at a balcony. And I say surprisingly because his style of spy play, the kind of hard tail heavy stuff, those types of players, that style doesn't translate well to balcony in my experience very often.
We are making Wodar sad with the fast forward balcony. It's just like
Balcony's not interesting.
Here's the thing about balcony. It's really interesting when you're playing it.
Right.
But
we're not
really
playing.
not interesting to try to cast it.
Yeah, right. Look, you don't. If you try to cater your programming to Wodar, you're going to be catering specifically to an audience of one.
Yeah.
Wodar has very particular tastes, right?
Oh man.
So God bless him, but he likes things other people don't. Is fair to say.
Oh, Spirit. No, we're not gonna slow-mo balcony. I don't think slow-mo balcony is a good idea.
Oh God, no, that'd be agonizing. I'd just be forced to break out random stories.
In slow-mo.
In slow-mo, yeah.
All right, so Magician on the spy, looking to keep things tied up on the spy side of things. Turnout 8 on the sniper. In 3, 2, 1, play it.
And no, highlight for early talk for what's actually the double agent.
Indeed. Magician, after a little bit of shuffling, was able to get into a good position for the flirt. BB comes off on the white test, but after transitioning into the drink grab, he was able to avoid the highlight for it.
Still hasn't flirted next to a seduction target for a while now. I wonder if he's planning to bug. I don't see any flirt attempts here.
Yeah.
Wow, this is getting really interesting now, actually. No flirt attempts.
Yeah, this is
weird. They might be going for a low light.
Well, there's one.
Very
odd.
odd.
I don't know what took that long for the flirt to come off. That's so strange.
And now he's in a bit of trouble because I don't know if he has time for two.
He doesn't.
Yeah.
There's no way.
He's got a rush bug, and I just don't see how that's going to work.
Oh!
Oh, wow. You just got to hope he shoots someone else. And,
all right.
There it is.
Magician, given a bit of a gift from the gods of Spy Party there.
Yeah. It's understandable. I mean, I think in that situation, you're either deciding to bug or you're really just selling all out in the frame and hoping maybe you get low lit, too, because you're not talking at all.
Maybe he forgot to flirt. Oh, Kletos. I don't think that happens, really. Oh, my God. So, yeah, suddenly, we're 2-2 going into high rise any 3 of 5. And hey, the Space Master, good to see you, man. Now, I haven't seen this gentleman around. I don't know if he knows Spy Party or not, but if on the off chance that you don't, feel free to ask questions. Anything you're confused about, just let us know. We'll talk you through things and make sure you know what's going on, because this game is freaking weird. So, yeah. As I was saying, any 3 of 5 high rise is a little bit of a weird game type, just because it's very behaviory compared to what most people are used to.
Yeah, it's a step up from balcony, but it's still a step below most of the other games we've been casting. Certainly, ball games. And we talk about this all the time. I want to see if these snipers adjust that little clock in their head, because most of us have a good little kind of sixth sense about when games are likely to end based on normal play styles. And you have to adjust that when you bump down from 4 missions to 3, because it goes down quite a bit.
Gentleman chap by the name of Potato Salad Needs Potatoes. That's awesome. So,
you know what? That's your first username tautology. I can't argue with that. It does.
Indeed. I don't know if
misspelled potatoes, but other than that,
that's fine. I don't know if you heard what I said to the Space Master, but this is a bit of an odd game. So if you're not familiar with it and you have any questions, feel free to ask. Everyone in the community is super friendly. We're more than willing to answer questions.
And there's no shame. It's super confusing at first.
Yes, this game is weird, so don't be afraid to ask things. All right, let's get into this one. Turnout 8 on the sniper in high rise, any 3 of 5, takes off contact, swap, and purloin. Magician on the sniper. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. I'm still on 2 times speed. Okay, I fixed it.
I thought about reminding you, but I thought, nah.
All right. I'm at 320.
I'm almost exactly there as well.
All right, cool. So we're good. Gets highlight for the statue visit off the top.
Yeah. Only interesting move here, by the way, is turning BV off. Swap, purloin, pretty standard. Although we talk about this a lot, when you turn swap off, very often people are tempted to turn off inspect as well, so that they have at least one area that's pretty much entirely clean, except for the odd fingerprint.
Here's an odd little thing. Went to statue super early on and only picked up 1 inspect off of it.
Kind of understandable, I guess. You got to go twice anyway, right?
Normally you want the safety from the second inspect, though, right? And
in case you're rushing at the very end, I suppose. Although that's true. Although it doesn't come up too often, but it is a nice little edge. I don't know. I sometimes see people do that, and they're kind of hoping to avoid a highlight altogether by not taking very long there and by going early. I doubt that's what was planned here, but I have seen that.
Indeed. Man, lots of new people showing up. It's good to see you guys.
Yeah, welcome.
Indeed. Sadly, Kletos, I don't have that command in my chat, even though I should. I just don't have any bots here at all. So, 85% on the flirt, 1 inspect done, 2 minutes left to play.
Yeah, no bots. It's like a Mos Eisley bar in here. No droids allowed.
Indeed.
Finally gonna do something there after a couple of those flirts.
Interesting, stepping over to the bookcase here. Now, people usually take off microfilm on this map. On any map, really, where you have to remove
But it's really viable on this map.
Yeah, I think this is the most viable map to have microfilm on.
Yeah, except for maybe Pano, if you count sort of just the hard transfer from book to case. But in terms of actual removal, taking it out and putting it in the other one, absolutely.
Absolutely. Didn't go for it this time around. Steps back into the statues to finish up the inspects. Only a minute and 15 left to play. Takes the shot. Wow. So Magician looking
there it is.
Solid here.
That shot is a direct result of what we were talking about the 3 mission rather than 4 mission line, because at that point he knows inspects are done. He could be done with a seduce, and he could be done with fingerprint. So he has to take that shot.
Potato. The frickin' look at that set of emotes. I love that. That is the greatest reaction to hearing the way the game works ever. That's just amazing. Oh, that makes me happy. All right.
Says they both made the mistake of thinking he might have been able to get a fingerprint at the blue bookshelf, which explains it, because at that point he'd be very close to being done.
Interesting. So, Magician actually up a game here, but he is on the spy roll. So, usually the snipers have a little bit of an advantage, but on any 3 of 5, that becomes a little bit more fuzzy.
So, absolutely, yeah.
We'll see how this happens as Magician steps into the spy side of things. Turnout 8 on the sniper. No transfer, no swap, no inspect. So relatively standard here. We'll see how this goes in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Early visit to green bookshelf. We might see some action right here.
We shall see.
Not entirely behind that screen. Oh, doesn't do anything.
Yeah, just decides to set it back. Good position to bug if he wants to go for it. Decides not to. Gonna go for the better flirt instead.
I didn't see offhand whether or not he was dumped in bookshelves or chose to go there. Although the fact that he didn't do anything makes me think that maybe he just got stuck there.
Agreed. 31% on the flirt. That's not the number you want to see, because the best flirt you can get on a white test is 34%. And 34 plus 34 plus 31 is oftentimes not 100.
Most of the time, yeah. I'm no mathematician, but I'm pretty sure that falls just short, which means that one of his flirts, if he wants to do it in fewer than 4, is going to have to be a green test.
Takes a fingerprintable drink and fingerprints it. So that's a nice little start there. Oh, Northern Lion streaming spy party. That makes sense. Thanks, Magician.
Not a whole lot else going on. Got a quick fingerprint in.
Yep, and on any 3 of 5 on this map, you can definitely afford to slow things down a bit. Up to 82% of the flirt from that green test.
And I think any fingerprint you get that isn't from the briefcase is significantly more powerful. Those are much harder to track. The sniper's far more likely to miss it.
Absolutely.
And if they miss even one fingerprint and they only see the other, then your mission's done and they don't know. And on 3 of 5, that's deadly.
Indeed. Stepping out to the window, possibly for a time ad, though I don't think so.
I wouldn't think it would be necessary, but you never know. Let's see if he can resist the urge to bug here. I don't know if it's going to be a BB and a fingerprint.
I'm not sure he's even in range for the bug.
Yeah, I don't think so. Very odd.
What's the play here?
It's not really clear. BB's the only thing that makes any sense to me.
Yeah.
But why?
And even then, there are just not enough people in conversation.
He might have been hoping that more people would enter.
Yeah.
Although if that's the case, he's just going to have to do it anyway or go do something else very, very soon. Although a full minute, that's plenty of time still.
Yeah.
But he's got to move soon. I think that maybe he's biding a time until the suction turret comes over, and he's just now realizing they're very busy.
Indeed. Taking a moment in an empty conversation in the interim.
All the time in the world, apparently.
Very
unusual here. Very unusual.
Oh, it's a statue. This could be a problem.
Yeah, there it is. I think he was hoping to get that flirt done, and his seduction target went to bookshelves, statue, and then another statue.
Gets the highlight for the statue there. 17 seconds.
Gotta rush a bug or something. I don't see. BB and bug, maybe? That's all you can do.
Wrong arm bug on the way in. Didn't get seen, but there's the BB coming off. Oh my goodness, is he gonna do this?
Shoot? He has to shoot. He's the only highlight
Turnout
in the conversation.
Turnout thinks it was a bait.
No, he's waiting for overtime. Oh my goodness.
Oh my, he didn't shoot in time.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
I'm amazed. I thought it was going to be... First of all, I thought he was going to get killed just for going near the Amba at that point.
Yeah, me too.
At that point in the game, it's so suspicious. He might have sort of seen the bug. But I thought the BB's got to kill him for sure. There's no other highlights in the conversation. I don't think there was even any other people in the conversation. But he was the only highlight who could have BB'd there. Wow. Wow.
God.
Then I thought at the end, okay, well, maybe he's actually completely on the ball, and he just realizes he's going to have at least a second of overtime.
Yeah.
So he's waiting for that. But when he didn't... But I'm amazed. I'm amazed he didn't shoot at overtime.
Yeah, so am I. That's
a
a shock to me.
Now, I guess Magician can confirm this, but I assume that what threw him off there a little bit was really thinking that at some point the seduction target was going to allow him to finish the flirt, and he really wanted to do that before finishing up his missions, so that it wasn't the last thing he did, and that the seduction target just did not comply.
Magician says he was going to shoot, but misjudged when he did the BB.
Yeah.
Wow. Thought he had like
really
an extra second or something on the overtime.
I am curious about Magician's thought process there. I understand maybe wanting to wait for the flirt, although I think when he went to statues, when the seduction target went to statues after the bookcase, I think at that point, it forces your hand a little bit, but he does get it in just under the wire.
Godspeed, good Sir Spirit. Godspeed, my friend. Alright, so it's gonna be pub any 3 of 5 for the last 2 games. Now, I'm not used to seeing any 3 of 5 on pub, but we're in a unique situation here where Turnout has to win both of these games to come out in a draw.
Right, and that's not too hard. That's very doable, especially for someone as good as he is, but it's not the position you want to be in. Certainly.
Indeed. So, Turnout 8 on the spy, start things off on any 3 of 5 pub. Magician on the sniper, no seduce, and no fingerprint.
Wow.
Wow, indeed.
There's the Turnout game mode. There it is, all hardtails.
Let's see how this turns out in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
This is his style, and it really forces you to keep on guard. It forces people to play a game of sniper that they're not used to playing.
Oh! Well, ladies and gentlemen, a bug happened and Turnout got shot.
Now, what's interesting about this is I'm a little surprised he shot him that quick. Now, I guess in this case, if it wins the set, then there's no reason to wait. But otherwise, I would normally wait. I would not let him know he got caught. In fact, this happened once. I played him in a ladder match, Turnout specifically, and I saw a bug attempt early on, and it was Ballroom specifically. He was the spy. And I could have shot him right then, but I thought, you know what, it's early enough. I want him to think he's getting away with those early bugs. So I just waited 50 seconds and then shot him for something subtle, and hopefully that helped me out. But I guess in this case, Magician clinches with the win, so you might as well just go ahead.
Yeah, I think that was just the feeling of relief is so strong there. You just shift click and be done with it.
Well, that too. It takes a fair bit of presence of mind to even think of that. Most of the time I don't. Most of the time you just see it and you think, ah, thank goodness, get it over with, shoot him, you know, don't mess anything up.
Yeah. But Magician here, I guess this is just like an exhibition game at the end. I really don't think this one matters much.
No.
Magician on the spy, Turnout on the sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it.
But yeah, most spy party players will sort of play the set out whether they have to or not. It's a very common thing. And very often after, when I used to do ladder matches, people would often want to keep playing after the set was over. Even if, you know, not to finish something out, but just to do it. Just because, hey, we're having fun.
Kelly is spectating Northern Line with KCM? Damn!
It's easy to forget. You get these people, you know, these big-time streamers playing Spy Party on stream, and you can spectate them now.
Yeah, it's true. Delegating Purloin early on.
A lot of people at the bar. This is going to be pretty easy to blackmail someone with, I think.
Absolutely.
Just got to make sure not to waste it, though.
Yeah, but I really like the idea of just not just going and doing it right away. Having that little stop in the midterm. Here's the thing, none of the people who are at the bar are going into conversation, though. There we are. Now we've got a follow general out there. Battlefield instead, this game is boring. I disagree very much, Peter.
I've never heard anyone say this game is boring unless they didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
There's a direct there's a one-to-one correlation there. There's a lot of depth. Just because you don't see it yet doesn't mean it's not there. Give it a try.
So, he's managed to get a fingerprint at this point. 2 minutes left to play. Wasn't able to get the delegate off. He only needs 3 missions, but he hasn't been doing much. Just sort of sitting back, letting Turnout build up their suspects.
Yeah, I will say that whether the game is boring in general or not, he's definitely taking his time in this particular match.
Yeah.
But you can afford to. There's a lot on the clock, and with only 3 missions, and the fact that you have 1 inspect necessary to complete the mission, you really can take your time.
Got the fingerprint done, which is nice. But with only a minute,
by the way. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, with only a minute and 15 seconds left to play, I was going to say that this actually looks like Magician might have a bit of trouble with this one.
I really like, by the way, the delegating of the purloin, and then sort of just deciding based on circumstance whether or not to actually give it to someone.
Yeah.
Which is what happened here.
It
gives you an option, it gives them a lot to pay attention to early, and when you see a rush of people at the bar and you watch closely to see if any of them take the guest list, you know, within that minute, and none of them do, it's very easy to let your guard down if it happens again. So it actually, I like the idea of doing it twice, actually, and only following through the second time. I don't think he has time for that now, though.
Indeed. Two delegate prompts, and neither didn't follow through with either one of them. 30 seconds left to play. What's the call here? What do you do? I think it's got to be inspect and manual purloin, right?
I don't even see how there's time. The inspect's going to take half this time. Inspect swap normally, but he turned swap off.
Yep.
And I think he might be regretting it right now.
I think so. It's going to be overtime no matter what he does. 10 seconds left.
There's the Amber. The Amber's right in range.
Amber's there. Oh, he's going to go for the manual purloin. Is he going to get it off?
I don't
1 second. No seconds. He did get it off.
I think he's going to get shot anyway.
Does Turnout know who to shoot? He's dancing. He's dancing. The shot does come off. And Turnout 8 manages to pull out that last game.
We call that the pirouette of death right there. That little spin into death, so to speak. Yeah, I'm really surprised he went for the pearl line at all. It's kind of one of the first places your eye's going to go when you see that a mission has been completed just under the wire. You're going to look at the bar, almost certainly. And the ambo was walking right towards him. It seemed kind of gift wrapped. Not something he was likely to get away with, but given how bad the options were, I thought it was one of the better ones.
I think what happened there was he was so focused on making sure he got the purloin off in time that he wasn't paying attention enough to see the ambassador coming in.
Yeah, it didn't really realize that, maybe there's another chance there, but a meaningless game, so.
Indeed. We're actually going to switch it up here. We have another set to cast. This one is CanadianBacon versus Sharper. And there's a little bit more on the line on this one, I believe.
Yeah, certainly more than the last game we just casted, at least. Indeed.
So, looking through... No, stop that. Looking through the write-up here, apparently, Bacon... Oh, let's see here. Bloom is guaranteed a spot in the finals. So, if Bacon finds a win or a draw here, he's going to be able to go through in second. If he 8-0s Sharper, he goes through in first. Okay. Which is not...
Anything in between, a little different, yeah.
Yes. So, yeah. Basically, Bacon is playing for a draw here.
Right. And that's a pretty good position to be in.
If Seizure Man wins, he goes through the finals over Bacon. Sorry, if Sharper wins, not Seizure Man. If Sharper wins, he goes through the finals over Bacon. So, lots on the line for both of these players. For those of you who came in late, I'm actually going to be casting a couple of the quarterfinal games tomorrow. One at 5 p.m. Eastern, one at 10 p.m. Eastern. Those are going to be live, like literally live. So I'm just going to be casting the games as they happen. It's going to be really cool. But I think we may as well just get started here. Bacon starting things off on the spiral in Ballroom, any 4 of 7. Sharper on the sniper in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And ladies and gentlemen, we are back to the ugly old art.
I find it charming.
As do I. Interesting start there. It looked like he wanted to get a flirt in at the window, but decided better of it. Actually picking up a purloin at the window here, and this can be very powerful, especially on Ballroom.
Is he going to gulp? No, he's not going to gulp either. No, not looking at the guest list yet. I think he's going to get away with this.
Yeah, I think so. I think Bacon got away with a clean purloin off the top.
And this is, it needs to be said, a little atypical. Bacon is known for, laying low as spy, trying to induce a lot of shots. But of course he knows that, and he likes to play against type every now and then.
Like, Bacon's good at fighting games. He will play against type.
Right. Yes, yeah, it's a big part. But he's also smart enough not to do it too often.
Yeah.
It is a general tendency. The general tendency is that he will time out more, let people shoot more, etc. But, at the beginning or end of a match, you can make a really good argument for playing against type there, either to set the tone or to catch them off guard after a while, and he's doing it here in the very first game.
Second flirt comes off, up to 56%.
I'm not sure if Sharper has noticed the drink has gone at all, and if he has, I don't think he's gotten any lowlights out of it. So
yeah, I agree.
He's awake clean at this point.
Yeah. Bacon absolutely in a strong position in this game.
Actually, the only downside is the idea that maybe now the guest list gets seen now that he's taken another drink, or that Sharper notices at a time when Toby is around him. That can happen. You can get away clean, but get sort of fingered for it later.
Here's the thing. I think Sharper hasn't been paying attention to the guest list enough that if he sees it's gone, he's just going to think he's behind. I don't think he's going to... Yeah.
I agree. But every now and then what you'll see is, well, I missed it, but let's just make an aggressive decision and say everyone in the conversation where I just noticed it, it's one of them.
That's true.
It's not that, well, sometimes, if they're desperate enough, because they're behind, frankly, they'll
Yeah.
make that guess. And every now and then, that can just randomly hurt you, especially on a map this small, because you could just happen to be next to it.
Indeed.
That definitely happens sometimes, where you take the second drink to appear inconspicuous, but they never saw the guest list was gone in the first place, so you've actually implicated yourself.
Canadian Bacon gets his first fingerprint with about a minute left to play. Oh, miss a pad for a moment as well. That could have been real bad, but he had a lot of cover.
Yeah,
and even with the super fast Purloin coming off completely clean, Canadian Bacon looks like he might run out of time here.
Yeah, there are words that have been said many, many times. He's still got that microfilm. He's got some options with the fingerprint and seduce, but he's got to do them right now.
Good position to bug if he wants to go for it. He does not.
It doesn't look like he's trying to finish.
It really doesn't. I mean, even if he is, what's the play here? I guess the play is to just let the seduction target get shot and take the win.
There it is.
Works for me.
Yeah.
Canadian Bacon goes up 1-0, and I think the play in that game was, hey, I got the Purloin off clean. I'm just not going to do anything and let Sharper kill the wrong person.
I suppose so. I mean, look, if they see that the Purloin is gone, they're more likely to shoot. But was there even a BB that game?
I don't think there was, no.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I understand entirely, we've talked about this before, do a visible hardtail like a swap or a Purloin in particular, because, you know, they can mismemorize the statues, but there's no mistaking that the guest list is gone. And if they hear a BB, it's very hard not to shoot. They know they missed a hardtail, they know the BB's gone off. At that point, they could have just inspected and flirted. So I think you can definitely do that. It's a decent move, but you've got to follow it up with a BB.
I think so. I think you're right. So, Canadian Bacon, either way, does manage to pick up the first game. Let's see if Sharper can answer back. In Ballroom, any 4 of 7 on the spy roll. Not a position you want to be in, but let's see if it can make the most of it. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
Yeah, I think Bacon kind of had that in his hand, you know, and
I agree.
Not entirely sure what happened.
Sharper, interestingly enough, pulling off the inspect.
Yeah, very surprising. I guess in this case you just get, oh, and he's going anyway. No, he's not.
Briefcase for the early fingerprint.
That works. I thought he was going just for the flirt, which I actually didn't love, but I think this is better.
Getting that early fingerprint is actually an enormous help. It gives you so many more options later on.
It is, though. It's kind of like being the first talker on balcony. Some people will do an automatic highlight just for the first person to pick up briefcase.
It's true.
They'll be vigilant about fingerprint early in the game and then sort of forget. I find the most viable fingerprints are the ones right around the middle.
Yeah, it's true.
They look for it again at the end, of course.
Yeah.
You got to give them a chance to forget it first, though. But in this case, it seems to be fine.
No highlights as of yet. Not much activity other than the fingerprint, though. 2 minutes and 25 left to play as that first flirt comes in for 34%. Pretty standard stuff.
Yeah. Piecemeal mission thing again. You get one fingerprint, you get one flirt. Maybe now normally you would also, you know, get an inspect in or something like that, and then you have options late in the game. But in this case, he can't afford to do that too much because he's turned off that soft tail.
Indeed, keeping his options open, just making sure that he has things to do late in the game if it comes to that point.
Yeah. One more person in conversation would make this a decent BB opportunity, but I think you need one more.
I think so as well.
And I'm not sure he's going to get it in time.
Well,
no.
That's a good time, and he does take it. 3 lowlights was what that gave off. Actually, only 2 it looks like, only one of which was a highlight. So that was a pretty good BB, I think. Goes into...
Yeah, not bad.
Goes into the statue for the last fingerprint and a flirt to go with it, so...
Nice. And at statues, obviously, as long as he doesn't swap, he should be able to theoretically shed suspicion there.
Indeed. So 1 minute and 10 left on the clock. He still has 1 flirt and a mission to go. He's got bug available, he's got swap available, he's got purloin available. But he's got to move here. able to pick up his last flirt. 45 seconds left to play. There's the purloin coming off. Is it going to get caught? It is a white test on the purloin.
He sees
there,
it.
he sees it.
Right
he
there.
sees it that the list is gone. Does he know
who
to shoot?
Doesn't have long. He's only got a couple of seconds.
He gets the highlight, but not enough to take a shot for. And Sharper ties things up at 1.
I'm a big fan of that. We've talked about this before, too. If you have to do something like a swap, if you have to do something like a purloin, it's good to do it at the end because you really force their hand. They're going to see it, but they have to decide if it's you. If they're sure they've seen it, if they're sure it's you in 10 seconds. And if they don't, it's over. If you do it earlier, then you see what happens. You get a big old highlight, and they watch you the rest of the game. But making it the last mission you do, much more viable.
Indeed. So, it was looking pretty good for Bacon after he managed to pull off that win on the spy side right off the top. But Sharper answers right on back.
Yeah. Very solid, very solid.
And now, because we don't like casting balcony, because it's a very difficult thing to do, it's time for any 2 of 3 balcony at 2 times speed. Are you ready, my friend?
I'm as ready as I'm ever going to be.
Let's get this thing underway in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Bacon on the spy, Sharper on the sniper, BB coming off right on the top. Not in the best position for the flirt, but he should be able to get one off regardless. 27% it winds up being.
Yeah, if you thought this game was confusing at first, people, try it at 2 times speed in balcony, which isn't like other game modes anyway.
Indeed. Should, in pretty much the same position for the second flirt coming in here.
He's in pretty good shape here. I don't think any of these highlights are particularly huge.
Indeed.
It's just him and White Danger.
Hits a green on the second, has a minute to finish up this flirt, and that's going to be it. Doesn't even have to leave conversation once.
Very close. There's the flirt. I don't see how he can get shot for this. It'd be a very aggressive shot.
I completely
Bacon's
agree.
away with it. Bacon particularly good at balcony, and we see why there.
It's very true. So,
thank God that took half as long as it could have.
Yes, absolutely. Balcony is just not the best as far as commentating is concerned, so let's do it again! Sharper on the spy, Bacon on the sniper, in 3, 2, 1, playing it. Not the best position to start off in, on the opposite end of the conversation. The selection target is able to get a BB off, only letting off a single low light, which is not optimal, but...
On the sniper side, you notice that Bacon spends almost all of his balcony games zoomed in.
Yeah.
Or at least a large percentage. Most people don't. They'll do it when they're particularly looking for a bug, for example, but that's about it.
Indeed.
But I'd say he spent literally the majority of the game so far zoomed in.
1 minute left to play. Already got 2 flirts. We're up to 74% here, but he's going to have to wait out the timer a little bit for the last one.
But he can just wait it out. He's in a good position. He doesn't have to rush.
He is, assuming the selection target doesn't bail on him.
And a white test will do it. So as long as he doesn't leave, and even if he does, he can follow him pretty easily. I think you just wait this out and
I think so. 12 seconds left. 10. It's going to be overtime. There's the flirt coming off.
He's trying to do it with almost exactly 10 seconds, I think was the goal there.
Overtime did happen! The shot too late for Sync! It happened, but it wasn't in time! Oh, man! And
now,
Sharper...
I actually agree with him waiting there. I agree with him waiting, you know, until about 10 or 11 seconds. I think he waited just a second too long.
Yeah.
You want it to happen. You want there to be like a half a second of overtime, ideally.
Man, too late. Shot too late
enough.
for Sniper Sync is the most brutal thing to see as a sniper.
I'm criticizing the timing, but I guess technically that has to be perfect timing, right?
Yeah.
If it's just enough to stop the shot from going through, it's perfect timing. But normally you don't want to take that kind of chance. Normally I think you try to flirt just a little quicker than that.
Indeed. Oh,
but I like the decision in general to flirt right near the 10-second mark.
That was one heck of a finish to keep things tied up at 2, going into high rise, any 3 of 5, and this is where things get interesting. We're tied at 2. Magician, remember, is only playing for a draw here to get through to the quarterfinals. Sharper needs a win here to get it done. So, Bacon, he steps into the spiral, takes off microfilm, takes off swap, takes off purloin. Which
all the hardtails off.
All the hardtails off. A very doable set, not quite standard in this map, but We'll take it. We'll see how this thing goes in 3, 2, 1, playing it. And I did remember to go back to standard speed this time around, so we're all good.
I think this is particularly good for Bacon's playstyle.
Yeah.
If he's trying to induce shots, that means you want people to be paranoid about missing soft tells.
I completely agree. Starts things off with a flirt at the bookcase too, which is quite nice.
Standard flirt at the start of the game. That's how you do it. That's how almost everyone does it. Although I like that it's at bookcase rather than conversation.
I agree. I don't think he's gonna risk the bug there. It's a bit of a tricky position.
And I like what he just did too here. Nope, there he goes.
Uh-oh, that's not the best conversation entry. Oh,
don't
boy.
like that.
Sharper doesn't like it either too much.
Yeah, Sharper's watching pretty close.
Wow, that was odd.
And now he's staying put, and it's not hard to see why. This is a,
Yeah.
oh boy, I hope he didn't see that. I'd better just lay low for a while kind of thing.
Yeah. Indeed.
We've all done it. Although at this point, you might just want to find out where you stand.
2 minutes and 25 left to play. All he has is a flirt gun, but he can take his time on this game type.
That's true. Yeah, it doesn't hurt him too much. Although he gets a highlight there before the BB actually went off. Very interesting.
I think that was Sharper not wanting to highlight and just gonna shoot him if he did something suspicious quickly. But he just figured that he was done keeping it in his head and just highlight.
I suppose, yeah. Well, if other people have like him have better memories than I do, that works just fine. I usually try to get him in right away.
Yeah.
I want to be thinking about the next thing as soon as possible.
A minute and 45 left to play. Still only has the one flirt done. Oh, the shot comes off though.
And it works.
Bacon
there
able
it
to
is.
find a win there by
there
laying
it
low,
is.
really.
Yeah, by laying low and picking a mission type that dovetails well with laying low.
Indeed. Not really picking a mission type, but laying low where it counts.
Right, right. I mean, that's the thing. On 3 of 5, the snipers have to be more aggressive.
Yeah.
They can't see a lot of the missions, and if all the hardtails are turned off and all the softtails are left on, you just have to be more aggressive with those shots as a result.
Yeah.
You can't just sit on the other mission, so.
Indeed.
I mean, we talk about this a lot. There are ways to play, and then there are ways to kind of pick a game type that complements your play.
Yeah.
And most good players have gotten very good at that. They've either picked game types that fit with their play, or more likely, they play in a way that fits with certain game types.
Indeed. And here's where we realize that Sharper needs all of these next 3 games to go through to the championship bracket. Canadian Bacon just needs to find a single win to force a draw, and that will put him through. Sharper, stepping in a spiral, high rise any 3 of 5. Let's see if he can make the magic happen. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
3 games in a row, pretty tough, but really just a little bit of luck, a little run. It's not unheard of at all.
It's definitely doable. It's tough, but it's doable.
Yeah.
Starting off slow, no problems there.
It'd be really interesting to see, though, if he's aggressive as Spy, because usually we talk about this a lot.
Yeah.
It's hard during any competitive match to stay aggressive as Spy, especially if you consider yourself the underdog, you're against a top player.
Absolutely.
And I think Sharper probably is thinking of Canadian Bacon as a very tough opponent. And when you throw in the fact that he has no more margin for error, it's very easy to fall victim to inertia and to just sort of, to just sit there, to kind of just be paralyzed and not do anything.
By the way, I forgot to mention, but Sharper playing on the same game type that Bacon was. No transfer, no swap, no purloin.
Yeah.
And it looked like he went for a fingerprint early there, but it was a hard test and he wasn't able to hit it.
Yeah, didn't get to it first, had a small chance, didn't hit it, and that could ripple throughout the rest of the game. That might convince him not to try fingerprint. If you get that fingerprint, it gives you options. Right now, he knows he still needs 2, and that's rough.
Able to get 2 of the 3 inspects done early is highlight for it, though.
Yeah, I'd say he's behind right now.
I think so. I think Sharper's going to have a tough time with this ahead of him. Goes statue to statue, which is odd.
If he's not swapping, then it's just a ploy to get a low light. I mean, it's got to be one of the two, and I guess it's just a low light.
Bacon was zoomed out on the other end of the map, so that wasn't going to happen. Gets the bug! Does hit it! Very nice little bug there. Pretty textbook coming through between the conversations. 51% on the flirt as well, so that's actually looking pretty good.
And the end of red.
Oh, the cough!
Oh boy.
The red test and the shot coming off, and that's going to be CanadianBacon with the points he needs to go through to the championship bracket, which means Sharper is really just playing for bragging rights at this point. Wants to finish this with at least a tie.
Yeah, well, no shame certainly in losing to Bacon. He played pretty well here too.
Yeah. Also,
It's
Bacon
sorta-
is just really freaking good at this game.
He is, yeah. I do think there's an all or nothing sort of thing, though. The way he plays Spy, like I said, it's kind of unusual. It's not really about mission completion nearly as often. So every now and then you'll get someone who just sort of cracks it. You know, they just learn to be patient, and that can really throw them off. And you can win a bunch of sniper games in a row once you do that, but it's tough to do.
Yeah. Indeed. So, Bacon, we're gonna cast these last two anyways. They were played. They're here. Let's cast them. Bacon on the Spiral on Pub, any 3 of 5. In 3, 2, 1, playing it. No swap, no fingerprint are the missions that came off.
I'm still not sure what I think about taking off fingerprint on this. I feel like people regret taking off swap a lot for some reason. I don't know why. I think maybe they just get kind of seduced by the time they think they have, because even though they have a lot of time relative to the number of missions, it seems like there's a lot of people rushing at the end of this map still.
Indeed. Completely agree.
It might be one of those things like Gallery where it feels smaller than it is, and so actually moving around it takes longer than you expect.
Yeah. Bacon starting things off with his inspect. Had a little bit of a weird trying to muscle in to the statue, but not quite able to on the other side of the map, then came around here to do it.
Yeah, it can be tight quarters, can be very difficult.
Indeed. Goes for the hard purloin and takes a bullet for it.
Yeah, now at that point, it's, I hate to use this phrase, but, you know, YOLO. He's already won the match. Why not just be aggressive?
Why not?
Why not play different? Why not? Why not?
Yeah. Sharper able to get it done. As he steps into the Spiral for the final game of the night. In any 3 of 5 pub. With no swap and no fingerprint, just as Bacon did. In 3, 2, 1, playing it.
And it'll be interesting to see now if Sharper as well, because the pressure's off, because there's nothing to lose, is more aggressive.
Bug attempt does not come off. Oh! Well, ladies and gentlemen, that'll do it for us tonight.
Pretty quick. So as soon as the match ends, they both do very aggressive things at Spy and get shot, because why not?
Because we can.
Yeah, pretty much.
So yeah, Bacon does wind up getting through to the championship bracket. Pretty good sets, both of them, actually.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, you can't really... normally, I'd kind of, like, try to sum up the sets with a bit of a narrative about how it went up and down, but with 8 games, you really can't do that, you know? There really are just the games themselves. There is this overarching story about the games, really.
Indeed. Right, so to finish this up, we've got a couple of the quarterfinal games getting played tomorrow. Crazy Kaylee versus Varnas, which would be a really cool one, happening at 5 p.m. Eastern tomorrow. I will be casting that live, so if you're in a mood to watch that tomorrow afternoon, absolutely drop by. KCM versus Feral is also happening tomorrow at 10 p.m. Eastern. Plans to live cast that one as well. But other than that, I think we're about done for tonight.
Yeah,
so,
good matches. Thank you to everyone for uploading them. Good luck to all the winners, you know, at the end of the tournament. And I will see a lot of you at PAX next week. And the rest of you will see us vicariously. Again, I'll take lots of pictures. I'll write about it. It'll be a lot of fun. Can't wait.
It's going to be awesome. Thanks
a ton. It is the Spy Party Super Bowl every year.
Yes! I've actually... Spy Party Super Bowl, if we're being honest, was probably the Omegathon.
That's true. Yeah. That's going to be hard to top, except when the game goes gold finally, or
Yes.
maybe on Steam at the end of the year. But
That's
for now,
gonna be
you're
pretty
right.
big.
That's the big one.
So we're gonna call it there for the night. Thanks a ton for coming out to cast with me once again.
Thanks for having me.
By the way, this man will not be here to cast with me next week because he'll be at PAX with Spy Party, and it's gonna be.
It's a good reason. I assume you're going to do something fun anyway, though. So I hope you'll all tune in either way, even without the incredible draw that is myself. I think it'll be worth your time.
Probably going to get someone else, like maybe Spirit or Royal Flush, maybe in here to cast. If not, if I can't get anyone, I'll do it myself. I can hold down the fort on my own. Thanks a ton as well for everybody who came out to watch. I know there were a lot of new folks who were around, so if you're still here, thanks a ton. I will be doing the usual I'm Bad at Games show on Sunday, and possibly a Saturday one as well, because I will not be able to do one on Tuesday.
Not bad.
So, I will be around, and until next time, this is Toboshi. And Warning Track, signing off.
In the clear?
Yeah.